That was Public with Make You Mine. So, hey guys, like I said earlier this morning, we have CFAS's very own CMC in here with us. Hey, how's it going, Master Chief?
Good morning, MC2. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How you been? Haven't seen you for a month now. So
I know, it was a great weekend. The month, my job is always busy as the base CMC, trying to figure out how to make things better for people around the base, and we had a pretty busy month in February with CART being there.
Oh yeah.
I would just like to brag on the MAs and the team here in CFAS. We got a 91 for CART, which was it was huge. The Navy average right now is a 61.
Okay.
And so our guys over here really rocked it.
There you go.
Well, yep.
CFAS taking first right there.
As usual.
For sure. So yeah, you mentioned month of February has been going on. So what does that mean for everyone?
So month of February, we have a Black History Month. And I just wanted to make sure I highlight this for my Multicultural Heritage Committee. Tomorrow at 13:30 in the CEC, there's going to be a Black History Month celebration, an event. And the Multicultural Heritage Committee always put on a great event. But the most important thing is that we celebrate diversity in the Navy, and that everybody plays a part in the Navy. Black, white, Mexican, Indian, you name it, they do. And this month we're going to celebrate Black History. For sure. So that's tomorrow. That's what time did you say again? And where is it? 13:30 Community Education Center. Okay, 13:30. You guys can show up for the Black History event going on. And then, are we starting in on the signatures now? Now we're gonna talk about. I'm just gonna give one more quick announcement on. So the Navy Marine Corps Leaf Society is kicking off their fund drive event this next month, and we're gonna kick that fund drive off with the Polar Plunge. If you've been around here in Sasebo before, you've probably seen this. If you've watched the Facebook page, we've seen people jumping in the water over there. So kicking that off. 2 March, 7:30 in the morning, over at the Port Operations ramp. I'm going to stand over there and support. I'm not jumping in. For sure. But I know there's some folks that'll jump in, and they have some prizes. The last 3 standing, I think, get a blanket and some other things. But if you have time, please come out and support that. 7:30, 2 March. Over at the Port Operations ramp. Polar Plunge for the Navy Marine Corps Leaf Society.
And I talked to the lady last week who's putting the whole thing on, and she's saying how Navy PT gear is probably what you should be wearing out there.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Unless you have a cool Navy Marine Corps Leaf Society shirt, you want to wear that, that'd be cool as well.
Yeah, for sure. So that's going to be March 2nd going on. Come on out, contribute to all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
So right now we are going to start talking about the signature behaviors of the 21st century. This is something the CNO just came out with, right?
So the CNO, last month we talked about the CNO's Frago, which really focused on war fighting and stuff. Now the fleet admirals, if you would say, PAC Fleet, U.S. Fleet Forces, and Europe and Africa came out, and we all want to support our bosses and figure out a way to get to war fighting. These signature behaviors, they came together and they came up with these signature behaviors that are not new. They've been around for a little while, but they just kind of reinvigorated them. There's a total of 10 of them. And what we'll do is we'll talk about a few and then probably take a small break and elaborate on them a little bit. And the bottom line here is really getting information out from our senior leaders in the Navy. And it's simple stuff. And I think that if people understand these and think about them and follow them in their day-to-day life, or in the Navy or on their jobs, it's definitely going to benefit us all. So why don't we kick off with the first 3 and
no problem.
Talk about them a little bit.
So number 1 out of 10, we're talking about treat every person with respect.
Yeah,
I mean, this goes without saying.
Gosh dang, man. I mean, it's the other thing about these that I really love is that they're just so simple. Treat everybody with respect. I mean, and this goes without saying for just people in life in general, but if we do it in the Navy, and everybody feels like they're respected and what they do in the Navy is important, man, I don't know, that I could probably end with just that signature behavior, and we would be good to go with it. But yeah, it's important that we treat everybody with dignity and respect at all times. no matter what their race, religion, or ethnic background is.
Well, for sure, and especially amongst leaders to their subordinates, you have to show them respect as a leader. And if you do that, they're going to respect you, and they're going to want to do what you say. It's going to make things more productive. Overall, it's just going to make things better.
Absolutely. I'm so glad I got great radio host in here, because he fuels stuff like this. So this being respectful and showing dignity for everybody, I mean, that goes up and down the chain of command. That's from all the way from the captain, respecting the junior sailors, and the same thing on the way back up. Mm-hmm. So we just got to all do it together to make it right.
For sure. Moving on to number 2, it's take responsibility for your actions, which, I mean, as an adult, everyone out there should know this. Absolutely.
And it's funny that this comes up, and I don't mean to make a mockery of this or not, but a lot of I was a former MA mm-hmm. before I was a CMC, and being an MA, you see a lot of people that when they find themselves in a crazy situation, or when they've done something wrong, a lot of times their automatic reaction is to try and cover for themselves mm-hmm. or figure something out to make it better, when just being responsible for mm-hmm. your actions, it just it's just the right thing to do.
The easiest way is just to own up.
And I've always said that, because I was a former MA and I seen a lot of this when somebody would do something that wasn't so appropriate. And it wouldn't be just like UCMJ stuff. I mean, it's anything, uniform infractions or just not treating somebody else properly. They would go into like backpedaling mode to figure out a way. Mm-hmm. And if we just take responsibility for our actions, in the long run, it's going to be a lot better. And I got to tell you, as a leader, for somebody taking responsibility for their actions, and learning from whatever it is that they happen to do at that particular time, I really envy that. I think that, if they learn from their mistakes, it's just going to be a heck of a lot better in the long run for all of us, mm-hmm. and maybe even help other people learn from those mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, think about it. If you're part of a team, or you're in a work center or anything like that, and you're working with a person who isn't taking responsibility for their actions, think about how hard that is going to be, or how hard that's going to make things in your work environment. Definitely. Which is why that's so important.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to number 3, we got hold others accountable for their actions.
This is my favorite one. I mean, and I got to tell you, this is, it amazes me that on this particular base and other places in the Navy, as I move around the base and I see things that are not right, I stop to say something to people about it. But always in those situations when I'm stopping to tell somebody that they may be not doing something that's appropriate, there's other people that are with them, And it goes back to what I always talk about, taking care of one another. And if we all just take care of one another, and recognize when somebody is not doing something that's appropriate, and holding them accountable, or just an accountability could mean anything. It could just mean like, hey, shipmate, how about we not wear those headphones? Or it could hey, don't cross the crosswalk. Just saying something when you see something that's not right. Mm-hmm. And I tie that all back to taking care of one another, as always. Mm-hmm. Goes right into leadership, holding each other accountable. Absolutely. Taking care of one another. All right, let's do one more before we do a small break. We're going to be talking about intervene when necessary, which I think ties right into it. So. Man, I got to tell you, it ties right into that last one. And with so many things in the Navy, people think, we've been through all this training and stuff, and people talk about intervening when you're dealing with sexual assault and sexual harassment and discrimination and things like that. But in actuality, intervening is, again, just with anything. It could be, somebody's not doing the right thing. Somebody forget, I've had sailors help me before, and sometimes I do play little games with them. I'll wear my uniform wrong on purpose. You're setting traps, man. Just to see if somebody's actually going to say something to me about it. And most of the time, I always find that one sailor that will be like, "Hey, Master Chief, you forgot to wear your tab today," or "You're wearing 2 necklaces in uniform." And these are 2 things that have happened to me that somebody's pointed out, and I was like, at first I could see that they were a little timid on wanting to tell me. But once they stepped up and told me, and I was like, man, thanks for helping me out with that, shipmate. it opened them up to continue to, to do that and help me even more. So intervene, no matter what it is. If it's a uniform thing, if it's a sexual harassment thing, if it's a sexual, you see something going on with a sexual assault, or something that could lead to that. And I don't mean to drag this on, but there's a video that you watch on some training, and it shows these two folks in a bar, and they're drinking. And when I first watched the video, but the scenario is they used to date, but they're drinking, right? And they're getting a little friendly, and everybody's like, hey, what's going on over there? When I first watched it, I was like, well, they used to date. And then I had to think about it like, well, they're drinking, so they can't consent to what they're doing. So yes, at that point, we needed somebody to go over there and intervene to make sure that they don't make some dumb decisions under the influence of alcohol.
Yeah, for sure. As all the sailors around here on base start to fill those leadership positions, you should just kind of become comfortable with being that voice of reason. Like, don't hesitate. If you know you're right, you got to step in because it's your responsibility. Who else is going to do it if you don't?
Yeah, and the more of us that do it, it goes hand in hand with me talking about helping people and helping each other, is that the more of us do it, it's just all helping. It's everybody's helping each other to just be better people, be better sailors, be better community members for the CFAS community.
For sure. So that was number 4. We got 6 more to go. We're going to take a small break. We're going to play a couple songs and then get right back into it. So here's Fitz and the Tantrums with I Just Want to Shine. That was The Weeknd with Heartless. So hey guys, we are back with the CMC. We just spent a bunch of time talking about what makes 21st century sailor. We went through 4 points earlier out of 10, so now we're starting things right back up with that 5th point, Master Chief, and it is be a leader and encourage leadership in others.
Yeah, I talk about this a lot with sailors as I'm out and about, and being a leader, it's pretty simple. For me it's simple. Hopefully this will explain it. Being a leader is not a position, it's not a rank. Being a leader is taking care of the person to the left of you and taking care of the person to the right of you. And if you do that, you're making a choice to be a leader and help the people around you. And for instance, my job as a Master Chief on the base is, I'm trying to look for ways to make my sailors' jobs easier. I do that through feedback or through talking to people, but that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to help them make their jobs easier. Sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's difficult because we have higher headquarter and instructions and stuff that I just can't change to make that better for them. But then also encouraging others to be leaders as well. And again, that's them taking care of each other, the person on their left, the person on their right, and trying to figure out process improvement. If you see something that we might be able to make better, just simply saying something about it and trying to, affect change is a part of being a leader. And I don't know, I really like that, helping each other. Help the one on your left, help the one on your right, and that's really making a choice to become a leader.
I think selflessness is one of the main characteristics of what makes a good leader out there.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
A lot of people will tell you that. So let's move on. This next one, I absolutely love this one. This is about grow personally and professionally every single day. I'm all about setting goals, accomplishing them. You need to be able to do that. It's going to build your self-confidence. It's going to make you feel better about everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I do CDBs every week on Thursdays, and the number one thing that I talk about after I ask, what are you going to do with the Navy? Are you staying in or are you getting out? Is I talk about goal setting, and I use this acronym called SMART, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, and but when it comes down to it, you have to grow each day. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to, go crazy with it, but if you can learn one thing each day, maybe you can read a couple chapters of a book each day, or, for Navy folks, go on NPC and look at the nav admins each day, but that's going to help you just grow personally and professionally. And spiritually as well. I mean, you got to look at the different ways to grow, and you can grow mentally, physically, spiritually. And I work out every day, so that's my physical growth that I'm trying to get. I go to church every Sunday. I get my spirit on, and but it's definitely important that we grow personally and professionally every day.
Well, they say if you're stagnant, you're dying. You have to keep pushing forward. Like as people, it's what we need to do.
Absolutely.
I think it just drives us personally.
So what do you do, MC2, to help you grow each day?
Well, currently, I'm going to college, planning a bunch of trips to see as much of the world as I can while I'm here in Asia. And go to the gym almost every day, just like you, Master Chief, although I don't see you in there.
See, MC2's brain is so good that he could whip that up with, being on the spot like that. It's because he's prepared and he actually knows what he's doing. And I go to the gym at 3:30 in the morning, mate.
That's a little too motivated for me, Master Chief.
So what's the next one?
All right, moving on. We got embrace the diversity of ideas, experiences, and backgrounds in individuals.
That's a lot of stuff there. Bottom line, diversity. We all have something to bring to the table. Doesn't matter where you come from, what your religion is. We have something to bring to the table, and it's important that if you're in a situation where somebody's bringing something to the table, you got to take a couple seconds to listen and see their perspective. Because some people, they're real shy and they won't actually bring out their stuff. So if you just take a second to listen, maybe you might hear something that could really make a huge difference for the team. And on the same spectrum, if you're one of those folks that don't bring things to the table and don't speak up, you need to speak up. We all need to throw our information in there to make the process and the things better, especially in the Navy.
Of course. That ties right into our first point, which is treat every person with respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to acknowledge that everyone's different.
One of my favorite things, treat everybody with respect.
For sure. Moving on to our next point, it's uphold the highest degree of integrity in professional and personal life.
Absolutely.
Sailor 24/7, Master Chief.
And that's true. It's funny that MC2 always seems to bring out, Sailor 24/7. You don't get, when you get off work at the end of the day, your job at the Navy is finished, but you're still representing the United States Navy 24/7. So you can't just take the uniform off, walk out the gate, and then all of a sudden your values completely change and you want to do something different. As soon as you walk out the gate, especially in a foreign country like we're here now, everybody knows that you're a sailor just by the way you look and the way you dress. So you definitely got to be on that all day.
For sure.
And all night.
I mean, you got a reputation to uphold.
Absolutely.
After all. All right, moving on to our next point. We got exercise discipline in conduct and performance.
Oh, my gosh. Discipline is tough, too, these days, Me and MC2 were just talking about nutrition earlier and being disciplined in nutrition. And it just plays into everything in life, nutrition, what you do. And I equate some of this to just doing the best that you can do each day in your job. Be the best MC you can be the best LS you can be, and do the things that you need to do that tie into the other things of being a better person 24/7, having integrity, and just being a good sailor all around.
You want to set goals, have discipline, be respectful, all these things, which is tying perfectly with this message. Which I personally think those are things that you need to do to be a functioning member of society and to be an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't we just continue on with the rest as well?
Of course.
Unfortunately, I've talked too much, and I think we're getting short on time.
We still got 8 minutes, Master Chief, so we're good. We're good. We got one more to talk about, and it is contribute to team success through actions and attitude.
Yeah, my goodness, man. The Navy is one huge team, and it's made up of a bunch of smaller teams, and we can call those divisions or departments, or we can call those commands. And so if you can do something to contribute to your team on a daily basis, it's just going to make the whole place a lot better. And I got to tell you, it's very small things that you have to do. Be the best at your job. Keep your eyes open to things that are going on around you. If you see something that doesn't look right, do something about it. There's somebody told me a story one time about, I think they called it the broken window syndrome or something like that, or the broken window. I can't remember. I'm making a fool of myself here. But the bottom line is that, people, there's a bad neighborhood and people threw rocks through the window. And everybody drove by those windows and they were broken, and it was like nobody did anything about it. Well, if we just always don't take action and do anything about things that are going on in our AOR, they're always going to be like that. So we got to take action and do something about it.
We're going to be that driving force that changes it.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
So that's it for those 10 key ideas that we were talking about this morning. We got one more thing to talk about, though, and that is the fact that if you have any questions or concerns to the Triad at CFest, we got something here coming up next month, and it's going to be a town hall meeting. Yes,
so the 24th of March, 17:30 out at the Hario Chapel. We'll do the town hall. We do them about every quarter, depending on what we got going on. But it's your opportunity to come out and talk directly to the commander, give him your thoughts of things that are going on. And we'll have all the department heads there, from each department, so they can give you information. You can get specific answers from them. But always remember, you don't have to wait till the town hall to get information. You can email the CMC, you can do an ICE comment, and we really appreciate it if you leave your names during those ICE comments, so we can actually respond to you and give you the answer that you need. But yeah, town hall 24th, 17:30 out in Hario. Come out and see and talk to the commander, talk to the department heads. The last couple have been pretty small, so I'm hoping that's an indication that we're doing a pretty good job here on base, and the services and things that you get on base are you're happy with them.
Fantastic. So just wrapping things up this morning, talked about a ton of great information to help all the sailors out there, in their professional and their personal careers. So definitely make sure that you heed all that. If you didn't get a chance to hear all of it, we're going to be posting it on Facebook later on. So make sure you go and check that out. And always thank you so much for coming in, Master Chief.
Thanks, MC2. I appreciate you having me.
Of course.
Once a month is a lot easier now. I'm glad that we're doing once a month.
No problem. So we'll see you next month.
Yep.